Hello, Indianapolis. Welcome to We Are Indianapolis. My name is Aldrin Williams. I'm the Deputy Mayor for Neighborhoods for the City of Indianapolis and under Mayor Greg Ballard administration. I'm the host of this program today, and thank you for tuning in. We have a great program, lots of information today, and we have one of my favorite people as my guest, Miss Chanel Poole. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Chanel is the CEO and founder of GLAM, right?
Yes, sir.
GLAM, it goes G-L-A-M, GLAM. What is GLAM? What's the acronym mean?
GLAM stands for Guidance, Life Skills, and Mentoring for At-Risk Girls ages 9 through 18.
Great. Very proud of this young lady. Been knowing her since she was a teenager, and she has done great things for herself and for other people also, which means a lot. But our subject today is going to be about violence in teenage girls, young teenage girls and adult girls, and the violence that we see being posted on YouTubes and captured in the news. And she's not the expert, but GLAM works with young ladies, teenage girls and young adults, and hopefully that she can give us some insight from her experience working why all of a sudden young ladies want to fight and jump on people and beat them up in malls and video and just create a violent setting in lots of places anymore. So she's not the expert, but she's a young lady herself, and she works with young ladies, and I think she has some insight. We have several questions we're going to ask her, so stay tuned to We Are Indianapolis, and maybe we can learn something together. So we're going to go with our first questions, and the first question, of course, is the easy one. What do you think? Why do you think there's so much violence in young girls today?
Well, several factors, I think, pertain to why there's so much violence among young girls. One is a lack of self-esteem. A lot of our young girls have very low self-esteem. They don't know their self-worth. Anger is also one of the factors, and attention. A lot of our young girls are seeking attention in the wrong way.
So lack of self-esteem. So that means they're not home life, no school life, or just no friends, or what?
It's a combination. I think a lot of it starts with at home, at an early age, whether it's parents or whoever's involved in their life, not really building them up and explaining to them their self-worth and their value and what they offer to society. And a lot of young girls are dealing with that, not feeling good about themselves, whether it's internally or externally. A lot of abuse is factors to why young girls' self-esteem has been diminished, and we see that a lot. And then the lack of parent involvement. When you have young girls who are lacking two parents or lacking that attention and that upbringing from a mother, then they tend to not feel good about themselves. And then if they've suffered from a great deal of abuse, that also affects their self-esteem and their self-worth.
So they join the gangs to do what?
A lot of girls are joining the gangs for several reasons. One is for money. A lot of our kids are struggling with poverty just as well as some of their parents, and they are in a situation where they feel like finances can help change their life. So money, influence from their boyfriends, and a lot of that has to do with the attention and wanting to have approval from a young man, and then just wanting to fit in, trying to find their niche. And when they're not, when they don't have a positive self-esteem about themselves, they tend to draw themselves to a crowd of individuals that have the same issues that they're facing. And so attention from boys, and lack of attention from home, and a low self-esteem, and they feel like that being a part of a gang can empower them and give them that attention that they're looking for, which it doesn't.
Very interesting. Have you ever been part of a gang?
I would say in my younger days, the level of gang activity, I wouldn't say was to this extent, but I will be honest and say that my involvement during my 6th and 7th grade years of school, I joined the gang because I wanted attention. I wanted to fit in, and I also wanted that protection from those who were bullying me and taking me through a lot of peer pressure. So I felt that if I was a part of a group of individuals that maybe had some influence or some power or intimidation to others, I wanted to be a part of that.
So why do you think all of a sudden it's escalating into violence, though? I see girls going together, skating, protecting one another, going to parties, shopping, but now it seems we see a escalation in violence behavior.
Well, the violence has a lot to do with, one, because they're angry, Two, because other people are influencing them, that if they can prove themselves by jumping on someone who they feel is less fortunate than them, or someone that they're envy of, it feels like it gives them credibility. But a lot of it has to do with anger. These kids are directing their anger in the wrong type of place, and then they're trying to get a name for themselves. They want some type of recognition, so they pick on other individuals who really they envy. Young girls who have positive self-esteem, young girls who are doing something with themselves, so they tend to attack those individuals. And then if you have a boyfriend that's in your ear that's coaching you and making you feel like that these are going to give you, as they would say, stripes to do something as violent as jump on somebody else, and that's what they're willing to do to get that recognition.
Wow, that's so, you mean that people are pushing them that way?
Absolutely.
Boyfriends got that much control.
Absolutely, absolutely. A lot of our young girls are so desperate for attention from a young man, and they feel like if they didn't get it in their upbringing, then they feel like a young man can give them that attention. If you think about it, if our young men are involved in these type of activities, then our young girls feel like that they have to cooperate, they have to participate just to be a part of a relationship with that young man, or just to prove to him that they love him, or that they are supportive of his actions and what he does, so they're willing to do any and everything. A lot of them are very vulnerable and naive, so they're not at a place where they can make the right decision.
What effect you think the social media, how is social media driving this?
I think social media is really destroying our kids, because all it does is promote and advertise this behavior. It gives them the stardom that they want. It puts them on a platform nationwide for people to see a lot of the ignorant behaviors that they do. And I feel like for kids, that's what they're looking for. So not only are they getting the attention in their community, but they're getting it national. They're getting it through social media, so everybody can see that I'm hard, or everybody can see that I can fight. So it's all it's doing is continue to influence the behavior.
So that's their moment of stardom,
Absolutely.
of fame, and they don't care about the consequences.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's pretty tough for that, because you see a lot of that anymore. I don't deal with it too much. Somebody showed it to me at work on the phone, and it's pretty tragic that girls are going that hard towards one another when it comes to beating other girls down. I mean, I don't understand that. So with that said, how well you think we're doing in the city of Indianapolis when it comes to working with young ladies like that are having the issues that you just explained to us?
Well, I definitely want to say that the city is doing a great job, but I think there's more that we need to do. First, in incarcerating these young people, that's not going to change anything. I think for our young girls, everybody has to take a proactive step and really get involved in their lives. That means we need to be on the streets, not when somebody dies, but before that happens. When we see these young girls in groups, not in school, we need to make that effort and get out there to see what's going on, what's missing in their lives. And then in reality, since we all know that we're struggling with the up and downs of the economy, we need to really design programs that fit their skill sets and their talents, and pay them whether it's $50 a week. But these kids are in poverty and they're lacking educational skills, and when you combine the two, it gives them something to look forward to. And it builds them up, because now they're able to use their skills and their talents to do what they love and they like, and then they also get to receive a benefit behind that.
All right, I agree with that. I've been some experience with that, that's for sure. Well, let me go back to the education piece. Why do you think they're dropping out of school?
First and foremost, I feel like, I commend the schools for what they're trying to do, but we have a lot of people who are not competent to work with the population of youth that we're dealing with right now. So that's the issue in itself. And so I think that teachers and all have been disengaged because they don't want to deal with the behavior issues. So that's a problem. When kids feel like they're at school and they're not protected, which we see a lot of this bullying taking place in schools. When a child goes to school, they don't feel like there's nobody there to protect them. That's one of the first reasons of why I continue to go in that type of setting.
Right.
If there's nobody there to protect you and keep you safe. So that's an issue in itself, is a lack of safety for the kids in school. And then we don't have enough teachers and teachers' assistants who's willing to take the time out to work with kids on their level. every child is not a core 40. So we need people who have the expertise to work with them and to be able to educate them in spite of their behavior challenges. And that's the issue for kids.
Very good. And we have Ms. Chanel Poole, the CEO and founder of GLAM. And GLAM stands for?
Guidance, life skills, and mentoring.
All right, good. We're talking about, they didn't write this on the card for me, that's why she had to say it. We're talking about balanced behavior in young teenage girls and young adult girls across the nation. Some of the reasons we think may be causing this, and she's doing a great job. And so stay tuned. Then what is GLAM doing to address this problem?
Well, one of the reasons that GLAM was founded was to deal with this particular population of young girls. Our organization is meeting young girls between the ages of 9 through 18 right where they're at. And we provide life skills. So we're teaching them coping mechanisms to deal with the day-to-day issues that they face, and we're also working on building their self-esteem. GLAM focuses on self-mastery, so we're trying to teach young people how to have control over their actions, over their thoughts, over their impulses, as well as the consequences behind their actions and what they do. And in part of our curriculum, which is broken up into 4 phases, we focus on self-esteem development, academic development, college prep, and professional development. So we're giving them a hands-on experience in these different phases of the curriculum, and we're also providing that group mentoring piece.
So how well are you doing?
I think we're doing an excellent job. We have a great success rate in our organizations. We've served over 300 girls since the 5 years that we've been incorporated as a 501c3. We have about 19 girls that are doing well in Indiana University colleges right now, and they also come back as peer mentoring. So I think our organization is doing a great job, and there's more work that we need to do.
Well, that's good. That's good. I know you're not that big of an organization, and you do everything for the organization.
I do.
You know, sew, cook, wash the bottles, raise the money, you know,
Absolutely.
open the door. That's good, though. I'm glad to see you doing that, though. So with that said, there can be more hope for people. And so what do you think an organization like yourself, this other organization is working, of course, with young women, what more can we do as a city and as a community, what more is a community to help engage our young women with their issues and concerns? Like some of them from broken homes or homes with abuses going on and lots of other factors. But as a community, instead of just watching the video and saying how horrible that is or wild or posting or passing it on, which they do, what more can we do as a community, you think, to help address the issue that we're dealing with? Let me say this right quick. I walked the malls downtown for 5 years before I became deputy mayor. And the problem we had more was out of young women with the noise and want to fight. It was unbelievable how they were but the boys were always in the background, like you said. But I never could figure out why they were so disrespectful to adults. But you giving me some good insight. Well, I kind of knew. With that said, what more can we do as a community to address this problem, and what are some of the things that you as head of our organization and the other organization may need from us as a city and the community to help address the problem? That's a lot there.
Well, I'm honored to say that our organization, I'm sure other organizations, we need funding, and I know you know that, but what we can do is we need to stop designing programs based off of what we think feel good and what's beneficial to the youth, but we need to get our youth involved in what they actually want to do. So I think if we just spend, I would just say 30 days and we actually spent time talking to these youth and asking them what is it that you're in need of, before you know it, food is a big issue. We need to have programs that actually provide a healthy meal for our young people and the necessities that they need for every day. A lot of our kids are living in different homes. They're not in the homes with their parents. And then we need to really design programs that are training our young people. They're already struggling with academics. They've already accumulated felonies and are in the system right now. So we need to provide trades, some type of apprenticeship program for our young people where we're educating them and we're also giving them those professional skills that they need. And they need to be rewarded for when they do good. That's the issue that's going on with our young people. We focus on all the negative, but when they're doing what they need to do, what type of incentive is in place for that? And we can't hold them accountable for what they have seen and what they have experienced. Most of our young people by the time of 12 years old have already experienced a major homicide within their family or within their community. So how are we dealing with the trauma? So we need more people who have real life experience on how to deal with trauma, the importance of real peer mentoring, and we need to get on the grounds and get involved. We need to stop talking to the youth, but actually listen to them, because they can tell you what they need and what they want to do, and we need to provide those resources.
Well, how would you do that?
Well, we will collaborate with several other organizations that is doing the work out here in the community, provide them some type of financial incentive to be able to deal with those particular issues with young people. We would get involved with workforce. A lot of these employers and corporations allow them to do some type of summer program where kids can learn these specific skill sets. If they do well, we need to partner with universities to college prep to prepare our young people on their level, what it takes to get an education, and we need to put more programs in the schools that can relate to our population of children.
Well, I agree with what you're saying, but the problem is, where do we start? Why aren't we doing this already?
Well, I think the right people are not at the table, and that's no disrespect to those who are at the table, but I think we need to make a call of those organizations who are really ready to get in the trenches. You know, as an intern in the mayor's office, I know the resources and contacts that we have, but so the city can start by bringing some type of worldwide youth fair and bring all these providers to the table, and let's put together an action plan on what we're going to do, and let's get the youth involved for the second component of what they want to see done.
Well, people say they do have those plans. I have a few of them in my office from over the years, and we had the paper, we have the plan, but we got the call to action. It seems to be the hard thing.
I'll take on the responsibility if you want to hire me for me to get out there and help pull that together. I'm willing to do that.
We need to stay you where you are, what you're doing. You're in school also, so you got lots of stuff to do. It's not your burden alone by any means. It's a concern for the whole community, and we have to do it as partners. You know, the city has to come together. I think he's doing, and that's a great idea. I think I like that youth congress. And when people say this, how you answer it? Well, we meet all the time. I've been to that meeting before. I heard this 10 years ago. I've been there. I'm tired of that. How you address that?
Well, I first would say that it's a process in itself. So to me, it takes individuals who's willing to stick it out for the long haul, because this is not going to be an overnight process. I just want to back up and give credit. The Christopher House is a prime example. When you was the executive director, the components of programs that you all provided, including youth employment services, you gave a wraparound service for an individual like myself who was on the streets, who was involved in all kind of nonsense, but you provided so many additional resources that everything that I needed was encompassed in one organization. And that's the step. And did you give up? You didn't give up. So we need people who are really going to be patient and willing to stick it out and deal with the issues that the youth face, not people who want to see a quick turnaround in 6 months, because it doesn't work that way.
Well, I agree with that. Now, with this said, is there more law enforcement can do to help us?
What I think law enforcement needs to be re-educated about how to deal with our youth. And I don't want to disrespect the work that they're doing. I commend them for trying to protect our cities, but there's a different approach. Sometimes you have to kind of take the badge off and come down to reality and really listen to what these youth are actually dealing with. The youth are already intimidated by law enforcement. There's a lack of communication between the two. So they need to put themselves in a position where these kids can feel comfortable to talk to them about their issues, not participate in being a confidential informant, but what I can do to get off these streets. And so I think a part of building those relationships, officers making themselves present just as a normal citizen, everyday guy, I think that will help out a lot. And I think we need to remove a lot of the stereotype that we're putting on our kids, because they didn't get here by themselves. And a lot of their actions is a result for the things that they've been through. And I think if we can be real and empathetic to what they've endured and talk to them on a level of empathy, then I think we can get better results.
Very good, very good, very good. And moving forward with that, do you have anything planned for GLAM and to address this issue coming up in the future?
GLAM is an organization that operates all year long, and we keep programs in place for our young people. We actually have a summer camp. This will be our 4th year of implementing our summer camp, which we partnered up with IUPUI. Our camp is Monday through Friday because we understand the importance of our kids having consistent activities, extracurricular activities. So our young people will be learning a lot about science, technology, engineering, and math, and then they also be taking place in building an actual business plan, because we think it's really important to teach our kids the importance of entrepreneurship. So our organization is focusing on keeping our kids active and busy and getting involved in the community.
It's pretty good. If someone want to get involved with GLAM or come see what you're doing, support you, what's the steps?
Well, they can reach me at 317-500-2800. Our website is www.glamindy.org, and our address is 111 East 16th Street, Suite 106, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46202.
Great. So you willing to take on this youth congress that we've had over and over and over and over?
I would be honored to. I really would. I feel like at least give me the opportunity, and if it's not my lane, then we shall see. But I think I could do a great job.
I like the idea of communicating with youth. I agree. I'm a baby boomer, and you all are millennials, and a different conversation. I was talking about that this week. I look at things a little different than you all look at things, and but we got to come to some kind of agreement or some kind of consensus that we got to work together to make it work. Yeah, I know my children, you know some of my children, I have the same issue with them, how I think now, how they're thinking. We all think for the right thing, but our approaches and methodologies may be a little different now. You know, and I think that what we're doing, but I appreciate your work you're doing.
Thank you so much.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you.
You know, thanks for the plug for the Christmas house. Appreciate that commercial.
You're welcome.
And you know, I'm very proud of you. So this is We're in Indianapolis. I'm your host, Aldrin Williams. And we've been interviewing, having a conversation with Miss Chanel Poole. She's the CEO and founder of GLAM, an organization that works with young ladies, I think 9 to 18 year old. And we've been talking about violence in our community across the nation when it comes to young women. And the videos you may have seen or may have not seen, or the news clips. But she has some great ideas. If you want to get involved, the information will be on the screen as we sign off. So thanks for turning in and watching it. Pass the word on that we need more volunteers. We need more resources. Find a community center, find a church program, or find some faith-based program in your community, or create your own that you can begin to give back. And one thing she said, sometimes the children just need a meal. They just need food to eat, amen, and build themselves some things. So if you know a young person is doing well, you know they're doing the right thing or trying to do, encourage them, pat them on the back, amen, push them forward, amen, to be successful, and encourage them to stay in school and go on to be one of our next leaders in the great city of Indianapolis. So we're in Indianapolis. We're going to sign off. Peace to you. God's blessings. Appreciate it. Thank you.